Good afternoon. I'm sure you want to ask me questions.
What did you think when you heard that Plaxico had gone to the Jets?
Well, as we said when we first started talking about this again, you know, I was very happy to have an opportunity to sit and talk to Plex, okay? And we were interested in him. He chose to go elsewhere, and our concern in the very beginning when he was released was that he would have a chance to get back with his family, establish some kind of normalcy in his life, be with his kids, that type of thing. So we're continuing to, you know, he's taken obviously steps in the right direction. Came to see me. Couldn't have been easy for him. Our conversation was very good. It was very sincere. It was very open. You know, his decision was to go elsewhere. Sounded like a bigger guarantee. I don't know all the facts about that, but that's what happens in this business. So his decision was made, and again, we wish he and his family well.
Did you offer him a chance to say it, and he just got a bigger guarantee elsewhere?
Well, there was discussions. Yeah,
But not an offer? Or?
there was discussions.
So he knew the financial parameters here.
I did. I think he did. Yeah.
The Giants front office was pretty honest about saying that there was disappointment that Barry had to go. Unfortunately, you just didn't have money for him. Is there disappointment in a similar way that you didn't get Plaxico back?
Well, I think anytime you start to engage with anyone, discussions were forthcoming, and the player chose to go elsewhere. So you always have that initial feeling, but you know, we have outstanding players here, and we'll certainly keep right on going and trying to get better. So
Your receiving core, and it's been a few years that people have been telling them about life without Plax and how different it might be, but they seem to just keep proving that they're pretty good in themselves. Do you think this is another challenge for them?
I'm sure we're going to take it that way. And you know, last year there were two teams in the league that led the league in big plays, and we were one of them.
Tom, you know, you said this team was interested in him. You aren't going to sign him to sit him. So does this team, you know, the team was not going to sign Plaxico to sit him. He was going to play. Does this team need to add another receiver now?
I think you continue to look at whatever's out there, and it doesn't mean that we certainly, our interest in Plaxico did not mean we were in search of a receiver because we didn't think we had receivers here that could play. We do. Obviously we do.
Do you engage in conversations with Steve Smith or Kevin Boss or Amanda Shaw?
I have not talked with, well, I talked with Steve prior to, but not really recently. I haven't talked to Bradshaw or Boss since the negotiating started.
Do you ever do that? I mean, do you think
Occasionally.
that's the sort of thing that would help
Occasionally.
move things along?
Occasionally, but a lot of these are, if there's a question about where the individual fits in the scheme of things, where we come in, where I come in, I do get involved, and I would be more than happy to get involved again if the questions were along those lines, but I don't think they are.
Tom, do you expect OC to practice today?
OC had a physical. He is due to see Dr. Warren this afternoon. I doubt that he'll be cleared to practice this afternoon, although I'm purely speculating. And until we get all that in order, we'll just continue to practice in the manner that we have.
You doubt he'll be clear because of time restrictions or because he has something?
I don't. We'll see. As I've been saying all along, we'll see.
Does everyone see Dr. Warren, or has he complained
Oh,
of
but
something?
there's been issues over the years. The hip that OC's had, for example, that preclude probably Dr. Warren coming in and talking with him.
Did you get a chance to talk to OC at all?
I talked to OC briefly yesterday, and I'm sure we'll have other conversations going forward. I think one of the good things that occurred yesterday was that OC and Jerry had a chance to talk, and I think that was something good that came out of that.
How would you characterize that relationship right now
Which one?
between Jerry and
You'd have to speak to them.
At what point do you sit here and say, okay, if Bradshaw's not going to come in, we have to just cut our losses and go find somebody else? Or are you happy with what you have?
Well, you're as I say, you're always looking for players that can help you, and so if it's not going to be Ahmad, then it has to be perhaps someone else. You know,
How long
so.
can you wait?
I'm not going to put a parameter on that. I mean, we're practicing, and everyone is aware of August 4th and so on. What's that? Well, how does that fit into a player's idea about when he comes in? That's another issue.
Have you sense OC's in the right frame of mind for training camp?
I really haven't had a chance to speak to him to any extent, so I wouldn't be prepared to say that. I've said many times, twice so far, I think, since we started, that certainly I would hope so. We would hope to have him here along with our other outstanding players, because together with the group that we have, I think we can present some issues.
Last night was the first time you got to see your rookies ever. Are they just way too far behind to expect anything of them?
Actually, none of you asked me afterwards, and nothing was said, but you know, we didn't put the ball on the ground last night. We didn't have any false starts. We didn't have any issues along those lines, which you would normally associate with how long we've been out of practice or being with each other. I'm hoping, since I just stuck my foot in my mouth, we're not saving it up for this afternoon.
But how did Marvin Austin look?
He looked pretty good.
You
Yeah,
had
pretty good.
symptoms at first team linebacker yesterday. How's that knee holding up? And what have you
He's
seen?
done well. He's maintained it well. He's working on it. I mean, he just had the surgery, 8 months ago or so. Let's hope he can keep going. Normally those guys are limited to one a day, you know, and occasionally there's an issue that they have to have a little more than that. But I think, you know, Clint's in a good frame of mind, and you know, yesterday was one practice, but he hung in there and did everything we asked.
It's a lot of new faces at linebacker.
How can you say that? I mean, without a sheet of paper, nobody here knows who they are, including me.
Is that a position that at this point concerns you, or is that?
No more than any other position right now. There's an awful lot of things that got to happen as you move forward.
So the linebacker doesn't defend more than like defensive end. I mean, like Jerry almost sounded a little irritated the other day. You know, said, all I hear is you never don't have any linebackers. He says he expects someone to come out of the shadows.
Well, we all do.
Well, that means that they're in the shadows. You know, do you look at that as a position where you have to hope for some unproven guy to do something?
I think with the opportunity to play a year ago, the extensive play time that a lot of these guys have had, that this is going to be better. I think Jonathan Goff's going to be better, for example. Hopefully Sinton will stay out on the field and be the player that he was drafted to be. You know, so. And some couple of these young kids got our attention yesterday right away.
Are you looking forward to see how this new look offensive line comes together?
I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to work with these guys, yeah. And you know, we accomplished a lot yesterday, just in Snee goes over to center and looked like he played there all his life, you know, so that was a good thing, you know, real good. So every day something, no matter what the obstacle is or what the apparent problem is, something happens that I think is a positive, and hopefully that's going to happen every day.
How good is it to have a competition at punter going 20 well? One is a young kid and the other one's a veteran, and do you think that one may play off the other?
Best word is that, competition. I mean, anytime you can create that, you're going to be better off for it. And sometimes the numbers don't allow it, and sometimes they do allow it. And you know, I would hope that one thing that would have been in the new CBA was 90 every summer. You'd be surprised what the difference between 90 and 80 is when you're putting a roster together for a summer camp.
Did Weatherford's history at the stadium, did that factor in at all when you guys brought him in?
I think that just the quality, the way in which we looked at him and his career versus some of the other people that were out there.
He said he's had the leeway in the past. The Jets certainly did fake.
Leeway was that's the word right there, yeah. He won't have that here.
Leeway is not your way.
No.
That was I guess, not part of the negotiations.
That word was not included. I think it's safe to say
But there
that.
might be language in the contract.
There was language, but that wasn't one of the...
Tom, at what point do you want the roster to get there?
this afternoon at 1.
Well, I mean, realistically, is it something that by next week, you think it's gonna be at 90 going?
I would hope. You know, I would hope. I mean, we're trying to do the best we can with, you know, with the players available to fill positions. We do have, and you'll see them today, a bunch of gray shirts watching practice. And if the rules were different, they'd all be dressed. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
How anxious are you to get the roster settled and see what you have going forward?
I think that we've talked about this extensively, and this may be one of those unusual years where you could have changes in your roster anytime throughout training camp. I mean, you go into it knowing full well normally that that's the case, but this year, because of, you know, the last 6 months, who knows? It could be changes throughout camp. So yeah, you'd like it settled. Yeah, you want to get to work. Yeah, you want to have a cumulative practice time, and hopefully that will be the case. But you know, to always try to improve and do better and create the competition you're talking about, I'd like to be able to do that too.